Assalamualaikum and a very good day, everyone. My name is Mr. Ashraf, and I'll be delivering this week's lesson. So, for week 5, we are looking at article review, and this is part of your reading skills, and it is part of your assessment, right? Compulsory assessment, and it is worth 20%. But it is due on week 8, so for this week, I'm just going to give you further information about the assignment and about what is it that you have to do. Okay, so before we get into the technical aspect of the article review, right? So let's look at why is it important for us to be able to produce a good article review. Okay, so first of all, giving critical reflection on what we read, it requires us to decide whether the sources that we read is accurate or truthful, right? So that is very important. And next is to establish whether the text is well written, right? So you have to be able to give your own opinion whether the text that you are reading is good or not. And lastly is to decide if the text provides relevant information to the topic you are researching. So for you as students, you have to read a lot to do your research and whatnot. So if you have the skills, you will be able to go through a lot of sources in a much shorter time. Okay, so these are the aspects that you have to evaluate in producing an article review. So this is the same as what is in your assignment worksheets, so you can check them out as well. So the first aspect is you have to state what do you think the purpose of the text that you are reading is, right? So you are given 3 texts, right? So you have to choose one. So the text that you chose, you have to see, or you have to state what do you think the author's intention is. Is it to inform? Is it to persuade? Is it to entertain? And or is it to express the author's feelings, right? So usually to entertain, to express feelings, these are usually for articles or for fictions, right? For stories, it is written to entertain, or something that is in magazines, right? Whereas to inform or to persuade, this would involve articles that are in uh, academic journals or in scientific websites, right? Okay, the next aspect that you have to mention is the intended audience of the text, right? So, who do you think the audience of the text is, right? So, how to evaluate is you have to see the level of the text, right? Is it an advanced text or is it a simpler text, right? So the audience could be general public, scholars, college educated students, and so on and so forth, right? So um, of course, for scholars, the text would be more advanced. There would be more technical language in the text, right? As opposed to general public, the text would be simpler. Right. Okay. The next aspect is the thesis statement of the text. So thesis statement is that one sentence that uh, that state what is the whole article is all about. Right. So the thesis statement could be explicit, meaning it could be obvious in the text, or it could be implicit. Right. It is not stated directly, so you have to construct a sentence, one perfect sentence that tells us what the main purpose of the whole essay is, right? Okay, so that is the thesis statement. Next is the topic sentences. So topic sentences is one sentence that states the main idea for each body paragraph of the text. So the same as thesis statement, it could be implicit, it could be explicit. So if it is explicit, it is easier, right? Because you can just look at the sentence in the text and you can see that, oh, this is the topic sentence because it states the main idea of the each of the paragraph. But if you cannot find the topic, the exact topic sentence, so you have to construct your own sentence to talk about what is the main idea. What do you think is the main idea of the body paragraph, right? So yeah, so these aspects, they are very direct lah. Okay, it's quite simple. Okay, next part, cohesion of the text, right? So cohesion of the text, it requires you to evaluate whether the text flows smoothly or not, right? Whether the text has a nice flow to it or not. So you have to look at how to decide whether it flows nicely or not. You have to look at the use of conjunctions, right? Kata penghubung, whether uh, from introduction to the first main idea, to the second main idea, to the third main idea, to the conclusions, whether it is related to each other or not, right? So that what makes a good essay, right? The cohesiveness of the essay, right? Okay, the next part is the evidence of the text. How does the author present argument to support each topic, right? So this one, it is in the slide here, not in the slide, in the notes here, right? So these are the examples. I will share with you in your eCampus as well, so you can just download it. But for now, you can just pause to read the examples, right? Okay, so these are evidence, type of evidences that are usually used by authors, right? The first one is specific examples. So specific examples, it can come from journal articles, right? From a study, from another research, right? Okay, next is the use of statistics and data. So statistics and data and specific example from a research, this would be a very strong type of evidence, right? And the next one is personal anecdotes. So personal anecdotes is not very strong lah, because it's just based on the author's personal opinion. So it is not very factual. Does not mean that it's not true, but it is not very strong, right? Okay, next is use of experts' opinion, use of comparison and contrast. Okay, so you can just read on your own lah, right? And the last one is analogies. Okay, so a combination of strategies would make the evidence of the writer stronger. Okay, are the arguments convincing, right? So after you state what type of evidence or strategies does the author use, you have to also evaluate whether you think the argument is strong or not, right? Whether it convinces you to believe whatever is said by the author or not, right? So, like what I said before, personal anecdote could be weaker type of evidence as opposed to statistics or as opposed to evidence from study. Okay, next, are there opposing views and how are these views counter-argued? Okay, so you not only have to look at the arguments presented by the author, you also have to look at the arguments that could be used to refute what the author is saying, right? So you have to look at this aspect as well. Okay, and the last part is for the conclusion. You have to. This is very important, right? So you have to give your own personal opinion as well about the text, right? See if you can use an instant in your life that is relatable to the topic that is discussed in the text. Okay, and the last part, how important is the information in the text to you as student, right? So you just state what is it that you have learned from the text. Okay, so that's all for article review. We will give you like a sample later in the other week lah, not this week. So I will also post a video in explaining how to give an effective video presentation. Thank you.